I'm going to go ahead and bring this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Coming back over the extended break for some, it offers some challenges to get back into the flow of things. With that, City of Anamosa City Council agenda, regular session, Monday, November 28th, 2022, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library and Learning Center. 1.0 roll call.
Crump,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Tukin,
Here.
Zumba,
Here.
Stout,
Here.
Gombert,
Here.
Note all members are present in chambers. 2.0 Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
3.0 Approval of Agenda.
Move to approve.
second,
Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Discussion from council. Brandon, will you conduct a roll call, please?
Smith,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda is submitted, carried unanimously. 4.0 motion to approve the minutes from the following meetings. 4.1 November 14th, 2022, regular council meeting.
Move to approve.
second,
Motion by Jeff, second by Alan. Any discussion of council as the minutes as they were submitted? Brandon?
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes carried unanimously. 5.0 old business. 5.1 project status updates. I asked the individual firms to come to the podium, state their name and the firm that they're representing.
Good evening, everyone. Andrew Marsh with HR Green out of Cedar Rapids. Tonight in your council packets is a brief update on our various projects throughout the community. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have and highlight that the Booth Street project is just a day or two away from completion. There's just a little bit of brickwork remaining, but the hydro seeding's complete as of today, and we're on the 1 yard line for that Booth Street project today.
That project will fall within the time slotted.
They have been slightly delayed, but it's pretty close. Contractor's schedule is a little delayed.
Only comment I had, it might be a little late for this, but I noticed on Booth Street today, I mean, there's a decent amount of cement on the sidewalk that was redone. The sidewalks were pretty bad there, but there's a couple spots where it's like they stopped and right next to a square that was really heaved up. I don't know. I mean, it's probably too late in the game to be addressing that, but
I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, the location that you're referring to, but I was on the phone with our inspector for that job this afternoon, and he told me that one of the panels heaved because of a tree root, and it will be replaced in the spring because it's too small of an area to do.
the one I was noticing was on the east side of the street,
Okay, I'll let him know.
closer to the alley, but in that vicinity.
Okay. Thank you. And if there are other questions or comments about the other projects on the list, I'm happy to answer those now. I guess another thing to note is that we did have a good meeting with the relatively new school staff and talked about future well siting potentially at the school property. So that would be well 7, I believe, that would be on the school property potentially. So that siting continues.
When you say brickwork, I'm assuming you're referring to, like next to the flower nodes on Main Street, they poured it and there's like the remaining
Correct.
filling with that decorative brick on the corners. Okay.
That's still to be wrapped up here in the next couple of days. Not, if no further questions, thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew, for your report. 5.2, review and approval payment app number 3 to Eastern Iowa Excavating for Booth Street water and storm sewer improvements in the amount of $203,234.70.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Teresa. Further council discussion? Public comment? Brandon, please.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yep.
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 5.3, ordinance 2022-956, amending chapter 69.13 of the ordinance of the city of Anamosa, Iowa concerning downtown parking regulations. Second reading.
You want a refresher? This is close to the courthouse, about a block or so away, and we need them not to park the last 10 or 15 feet for the plows to get around the corner. So that's all we're demanding. It's just no parking during running time during plow.
We need to put new signage out or just paint on the
We'll
curb.
put sign. Well, and I don't know if we'll paint this winter, but yeah.
Next year.
Yeah,
So this is 2 separate locations.
it's on left and right side of the street at the end,
Okay.
so we can
Yeah.
get around because it seems to be everybody's parking right to the end of the street at this specific location. So we can't have them doing it nowhere. Try to hurry up and get it on so we can get the reading done before it snows a lot. The next one will be the 14th of December.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Alan. Any further discussion? Public comment? Brandon?
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Gabbert.
Yes.
Motion to approve here unanimous. It is not on tonight's agenda. My understanding it's a standing to waive third reading if council so chooses, even without it being on the agenda. If you're thinking time
I am not.
Time
it's-
crunch.
I think we're okay for the December 14th, even if we get a snow or so in there. I mean, that's up to you guys if you want to do that, and then I can confirm. You can mention that, and vote that way, and then I can confirm and make sure we can. And if we can, then yeah, then we'd be able to move on quicker.
I believe that'd be a council decision to, if they so choose to waive. If not, we will move into new business. I'll take hearing now. Oh, sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
that'd be on me because I made the motion, correct? We have to,
No, you can just make a motion now to waive the third reading. Hearing none, I will move into new business. 6.0, new business. 6.1, ordinance 22-957, amending ordinance number 50, ordinance number 953 concerning vacant residential and commercial properties within the city of Anamosa and establishing a vacant building permit and inspection process. Motion to waive operation of Iowa Code 380.3 and place the ordinance on its final passage for adoption.
To give you background, last December, actually, no, pardon me, a year ago in April, you guys passed the first ordinance reading of the vacant property register. And then in November, the second meeting in November last year, we had the second reading and then the third and final passage of it in December last year for the vacant registered, vacant property registry. I was not aware of this and probably tops a couple weeks ago. At this point, I was just informed that it's supposed to take effect January 1st. We have to have forms, we have to have things in place, we have to have CSO trained if he's going to do it, we have to see if ECI Paul can help us with inspections, all the things that we have to do with it. And I don't want to just throw it together and put it out there. So all we're doing with it is just updating the effective date to July 1st. So that gives us time to get the financials done, get budget done, and then I can focus and do it correctly. Derek is listening in if you have any questions for him as well, because he understands as well that I'm asking. So he's fully aware because they're the ones that, you know, wrote it, proposed it and everything else originally. So if you have any questions for him, we can unmute him or he can unmute himself if he needs to answer anything. But all we're doing with it is literally just changing the date to July 1st. So I have adequate time to get our ducks in a row to make sure we're effectively having time to have everything in order, get it out to all the property owners and builders and businesses so they know they have to register. Because if I just start it January 1st and nothing's in place, we can't really enforce anything. So I want to make sure that we're ready to go next time.
So prior to that date, there will be a letter that goes around to all.
I'm gonna try.
Building owners,
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
commercial and residential,
Huh?
commercial and residential.
It says commercial and residential. Yeah, every single building that's not occupied has to be on this register and how we can contact them. And if it's in foreclosure, it even lists who the bank is, so we can get a hold of that. So, and then they get a flyer that says they have to keep the yard mowed, they have to make sure they shovel snow, they have to make sure nothing's damaged, you know, all that other stuff. They have to secure the property. So yeah, there's a lot to do with it, and there's no way I can adequately put it together in less than 2 months with financials and budget coming.
So the letter going out would, regardless if it's vacant or not, it would go out just to inform and then, or we wouldn't go through saying which ones we think are, it would just be a mass mailing.
I don't think I'm doing mass right now. I think I'm gonna start off with the businesses and the couple of the builders that I know that are built in town and send it to them, and then we'll put it on the website. We might do some kind of advertisement in the paper. You know, to get a hold of people that way. Word of mouth will go around eventually as we work with it. Derek has his network as well for his things. So we'll get the word out there, but at least people will know July 1st it's effective, and then we can start getting it out hopefully May, June. For everybody to fill out and do what they have to do.
So you're saying July 1st, it would go into effect next year, this coming year.
Correct. So this will be the new fiscal year.
So we're just looking for a motion to move it forward to July 1st.
Yes.
I move to forward this to July 1st.
Second.
Motion by Allen, second by Brooke. To extend the launching of this ordinance to July of 2023. Any council discussion? Any public comment? Please state your name and your residence.
Tom Durgan, downtown property owner. Concerning this matter. You all know how I feel about the facade program, and like I said before, it looks nice. As you know, the city's invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in the first part of this program, and now they're gonna invest hundreds of thousands of dollars more in the next couple of years. I'd write some of this down so I keep my head. Now work is complete in the first phase. Does this ordinance only apply to the owners that receive city, state, federal, community, or CDBG money? Or however you say that part of it? Is my first question.
No, and this isn't approving the ordinance. All we're doing tonight is approving the effective date to be from January first of 23 to July 1st of 23. If you'd like to come into my office, I can show you the 11 pages. We can go over it. Right.
I
Yeah,
tried to
unfortunately-
find it, but I'm not a computer person. So what's the goal?
The goal tonight is only just moving the effective date.
The goal of the ordinance?
Right, you have to register any vacant property that's within the city limits. With the city, you'll have to fill out a form, and there's a fee also associated with that because it'll have inspections. So the fees will cover the inspection cost of the person doing inspections.
Well, I would like to verify exclusion for anyone using their own personal money to improve these properties.
It's not on the table for tonight to do anything with the ordinance. It's already passed a year ago. The only thing on the table tonight is just changing the effective date. If there's an ordinance amendment, that would be something that would have to come back.
All right, just need to know because we personally need to know if we need to contact our attorney or not on this matter. So,
Stop in my office, we can go over it.
okay, thanks.
Any other public comments? Brandon? Carl?
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
South,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Dunbar.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.2, resolution 2022 69, setting the date for a public hearing on proposal to enter into a general obligation police vehicle acquisition lease purchase agreement with payments there under a principal amount not to exceed, which I believe that there's a type error and the comma is 10 off, which should indicate 40,000 and not 400,000.
So the next three resolutions are setting the date for public hearing. For the continuing disclosure for the bond that we received, we're required to have hearings before we purchase any equipment, whether it's budgeted or not. Originally, we were going to rent or lease a police vehicle. We need 2 of them immediately, and then we need 1 a year for the next couple of years, and then also lease the inside. The financial advisor, being Spirit Financial, indicated that it's much more cost effective financially for us to outright purchase the vehicle and lease the inside. So if we end up in the next 5 years, 5 fiscal years, getting 1 police vehicle a year and replacing it and getting rid of the old one, the $400,000, if we split that over 5 years, I believe is, I think it's 75 or 80,000 a year, and the purchase price of the vehicle is about 50, and then you have the rental for the inside. So they advise just attempting to do all 5 years at once, knowing we'll do it 1 a year for the next 5 years, instead of coming back to council every year and saying, we need another car, we need another car, we need another car. So it would be budgeted out over a full 5-year period, but this is just setting the date. So when we discuss it to approve it next month or next meeting, that's where that number is coming from. But I said the same thing, like, that's a lot of money, like over 5 years, that's what it is. And if we were leasing, it'd be almost double that. We lease the vehicle and lease the inside.
So this is just budgeted and then each year we'll be spending a certain amount.
Correct. So I'll take the full number, divide it by 5.
All right.
1 this year, we're gonna order in the spring, the other one comes July 1st, and then we'll rotate 3 more years after that. So it's not all at once, but then I'll be able to budget for it. But these 3 are only setting the public hearings because we need to do that for the continuing disclosure for the bonds we have, because that makes it public what debt we're taking on in comparison to our debt limit and how much we've taken out in bonds. So that's how it ended up being a purchase, and it says purchase / lease is because we're going to buy the vehicle and lease the inside. And Jeremiah, if they're to answer any questions on that, but this is, like I said, these 3 are just setting dates for public hearings, but we have people here for background. And I did include in the packets for all 3 of them, any of the financial data, the leases, the purchases, all that in there, so you guys can see. It'll be a next council packet as well, but so you can see what we're looking at.
How many vehicles does the department currently have?
Chief White Anamosa Police Department, we currently have 6. The one, basically every year when we get a new one, we trade it off. We've retained one this last year for the community service officer position. So we've kind of set this in motion where each year we've just retained one for a longer a total length of a 12-month period. So the CSO has a vehicle to drive. We'll have to figure out at the end of this whole rotation how we're going to handle that, but this will get us through that period of time.
The 6 includes the chief's vehicle.
Yes, it does.
Ford General, the chief is the CSO and then Ford General.
Yes.
What's the age and range on the ones, the 6 we have?
I can't remember the oldest. I think it's a 2016 all the way up to 2022. Basically, we had a lot of things come into play in addition to the new requirement to go to a public hearing for each purchase, regardless budget amount was one of the things. The vehicle lease program that we were entered in, the company changed ownership. They eliminated that program. So we kind of ran into a snafu of acquiring a new vehicle. We were going to have to go out and find our own leases at that point, which kind of became somewhat problematic. It also changed the terms of those leases. They did have the hardware lease program that we're still doing. That allows us to keep all the updated technology and equipment. That was when Spear Financial came in and made their recommendation that we could probably keep doing that, but purchase the vehicles outright instead. So this all kind of came into play. Well, and then in trying to acquire the 2 vehicles, I was educated a little bit on obtaining these and how the dealers have windows of opportunity, and you have to get those within those windows. If not, it could be delayed for several months. So that's the reason for the current, the way it's listed with the 2. We have one that we were supposed to acquire to replace the 2014 old CSO vehicle we're currently using. That was supposed to be gone in July, and we were supposed to have a new vehicle. We were just unable to, just due to the market. So we're several months delayed on that. That's the one we need to immediately replace. And then they recommended just moving ahead and replacing or ordering the one for next July now.
In my discussion with you that one day was in the meeting, this is a lot more cost effective for us also, it looks like too.
Correct.
And we should probably set the date for the public hearing prior to our next meeting.
Well, I'm gonna make the motion to set the date for December 12th to hold the public hearing. So we can,
Second that. Brooke, was that you?
Yep.
Motion to set public hearing by Rich, second by Brooke. Any further council discussion? Public comment? Brandon?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Motion to approve, carried unanimous. 6.3, resolution 2022-77, setting the date for public hearing on proposal to enter into a general obligation utility department used sludge dump truck acquisition purchase agreement with an amount not to exceed $50,000.
So, yeah, Steve's here to talk about it as well. This, our sludge hauling dump truck, is falling apart, getting rotted. We were informed of a used truck that's many years newer, has less mileage on it. The original list price on it is $65,000. After he spoke with them, they said they give it to us for 50, so we're taking $15,000 off of it. In order for us to do that, because it's a public hearing before we purchase anything. So I'm like, oh, we don't need to. So there's information and pictures of it in your packet, along with them in writing saying that they gave us the discount. So if you have any questions for him, it is not currently budgeted. It's falling apart, but he has reviewed his budget and he can come up with the funds. We're just spending a little bit less to cover it, so we will have it this fiscal year covered for what we're having. So I'm not worried about that as an issue at this point.
So it's in the
Current
department
fiscal
budget.
Yes, this current fiscal year, like we'd have the public hearing at the December meeting. We'd vote on it the next meeting, and then if you guys approve, we'll have it in our possession within probably less than a week.
And this is already in the department budget.
I did not budget for this, but I have funds there that I can
Yeah,
use
that's
for it.
what I meant. Yeah,
Correct, yes, we will
Okay.
not be over.
okay.
Yeah, we have the whole discussion, and then I'm like, whatever. Hard to find vehicles as it is anyway, and how many miles were on this one? It wasn't very,
So like 17,000.
yeah. they almost-
wow.
Yeah, almost
So-
nothing. I wanted to put a whole sludge in, so.
That's the primary purpose.
Yep.
Is to haul the sludge.
Yep, we have to have a dump truck to haul it from the press over into the trickling filter. And the one that we have now, and now we also use this truck, like I put in there, we'll use it, we'll bring it out and we'll use it to haul snow. Off the streets in the wintertime. We also will help, like, we helped Shane this fall get rid of a bunch of the mulch. We use that truck to do that too. So it's not like this is the only thing we'll use it for. It'll have other purposes that we will use it for. And like I said in there too, if you really decided down the road that we wanted to put a plow on it, we could put a plow on it and, if Shane would have a truck breakdown. So it's just options.
So when you say haul sludge, are you just talking about within the confines of the wastewater plant?
Yes,
Okay,
yep. I have to haul it from the press building into the old trickling filter when we run the press.
Because hauling it out of the city, we have a contract.
That's all contracted.
well, I'll make a motion to set the date for December 12th for this hearing.
Second.
Okay, was that you?
It's. I was gonna ask, did I read that it has to be covered to drive, this will go to Cedar Rapids?
Yeah.
So it's not just from building to building? I thought we
So
we contracted out though.
okay, once a month, when we clean our trash baskets at the lift stations and the wastewater plant and stuff like that. This just happens to have a roll tarp on it. So instead of the guys having to take a tarp and try to fasten it to the truck, because the loads have to be covered, that one load has to be covered to go to the Lynn County landfill. This will just make it easier because it's on the truck. So
Do we have trucks larger than this one currently?
they're basically all the same size. Everything the city has is a single axle.
The opportunity to add the plow, what we have will retrofit onto this.
Yeah, all we'd have to do is put the mounts on and mount the hydraulic valves to run it.
What do you think we get out of the old one at auction? Any idea? What they're bringing?
10. I'm thinking maybe. Like, it still runs good. It's just. We're having some issues with some of the other stuff because it does sit more. And it was a plow truck originally for the city. And then the wastewater department obviously inherited it at some point in time. And that's where it went to, so. When that happened, that I don't know. In 17. So.
I've seen the truck. It's very well used up.
That's our like, jump on it.
You could probably run it through the waste plant and it disappear.
And like Michonne said, we
Yeah.
stumbled across this one. It looked like it'd be a really good opportunity.
It's
so.
it's a good price. It really is.
We have a motion by Rich and second by Kay. Any further council discussion? Any public comment? Brandon?
Gombert.
Yes.
Trump?
Yes,
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Zumba?
Yes.
Stout?
Yes.
Motion approved, carried unanimously. 6.4, Resolution 2022-80, setting a date for public hearing on proposal to enter into a general obligation for the fire department to purchase a new fire truck with the amount not to exceed $436,325.61.
Fire chief is here to answer any questions you have. Council needs to approve the purchase of a truck. They have funds for it, not all of it at one time. They have some of it to put down as a down payment. When they order it, they need to order, hopefully in December, by the end of the year, to keep this price. And it's 20 months out for delivery. So if we don't start, we'll never be able to get the replacement truck in. But this is just, again, setting up a public hearing for it. We'll have the same information as in the packet now for the purchase price and everything at the December meeting. But any questions you have, next. Please, here.
Final payment would be when it's delivered,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we're about a year and a half out,
20 months out.
20 months,
For delivery.
almost 2 years. Save a lot of pop cans, maybe we can get that hammered.
Is this a replacement?
This will be a replacement. The truck it's gonna be replacing is a 93.
What's the thought of the truck that will be replaced?
We will probably try to sell it for, once the new truck comes in, we'll try to sell it. If not, we go to auction. So we should be able to. The truck right now is going for about $30,000. So
Any funds they get will go back in the replacement truck fund to make payments and build up for when they have to do this again someday.
Is it in good enough shape that a real small town that needed one could buy that?
yes,
It is.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for December 12th.
Second.
Who's second that, Alan?
Yes.
Thanks. Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Dan, is there anything included with this other than the truck? And the equipment that
Most-
to be mounted on the truck?
most of the equipment from the existing truck will transfer over. The ladders come brand new with the truck. A lot of it will just transfer over from our existing.
So this total not to exceed is for the purchase of a truck only, nothing additional.
That is correct.
Any council discussion? Public comment? Brandon?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.5, resolution 2022-78, approving the hiring setting of salary for current open community service officer for the police department.
Move to approve.
second,
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Is this what we would refer to as the compliance officer?
How long have we been out without one?
Not very.
Any other council discussion? Public comment? Brandon, please.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
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 Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.6, resolution 2022-79. 28E agreement for mutual aid fire protection in and surrounding Jones County, Iowa, removing Center Junction.
move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Any discussion? Public comment? Brandon, please.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.7, review and approval, Hayden Hills Event Center.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Teresa. I believe we have the possible future proprietors.
I'm Emily Numbers. My husband Dan is here as well, and we're the owners and hopeful builders.
Anything you would like to brief council on before we send this to a vote?
Nope, we're still working on getting all of our plans approved and getting everything finalized so we can start building. We were hoping to break ground before the cold, but it came really early this year. So first thing next spring, we'll get building and it'll be open and it's going to be beautiful and bring a lot of revenue to the town. So we're very excited.
It appears you're very excited.
I know, I can't wait. Sorry.
Glad to have you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, we're so excited.
It was kind of nice to see that in the packet.
It's taken us a while. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
back and forth and setbacks and making sure everything, fits for what we need with the building and zoning and everything.
We're
Now
so
we finally
grateful
got it
for all of
there.
your time. Yeah, the amount of emails, I'm so grateful for all of your time. So,
Hmm.
But we got them there. The second I could, I'm like. oh,
yep. It's been a process, but we're there.
Is there any questions or comments from council? To the numbers is.
Just looking forward to seeing it when it's done.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. We can't wait to have everybody out.
Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Brandon, please conduct a roll vote.
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Yes,
Motion to approve carried unanimously. Well, I want to thank you for giving the consideration to the city of Anamosa. It is definitely needed within the community as well as within the county. So thank you for taking this risk and we look forward to a wonderful partnership. 6.8, review and approval. Approving professional services agreement to HR Green for Cedar and Huber Street reconstruction and utility improvements from, I think it's to be Ford Street
Typo.
to Main Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Alan. Andrew, do you have any comments to make?
I would just say that this is our, I think, third project in a series of projects to update streets and sidewalks. We started a year or two ago with the Sycamore Street project, and that is complete. And as I mentioned earlier, the Booth Street project is wrapping up now. So we met with staff a few months ago to find what the next priority was for street reconstruction and then kind of have been developing the scope around what that next priority is. So this project would generally be designed over this winter, bid next spring, and as budget allows, constructed next construction season. So kind of that progression of projects.
Council, any questions or comments for Andrew? Any public comment? Brandon?
yes,
Smith,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Brumbaugh,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Albert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion to approve carried unanimous. Andrew, thank you for being present tonight for the earlier project status update as well as being here in case the council had questions on this. I do want to say that over the various projects that you have quarterbacked for HR Green, it certainly has been refreshing that you're constantly present and diligently come up with answers to questions we have. So thank you for that. 6.9, review and approval action. Approving the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022.
This item and the next item are part of the four-pack that's all due December 1st. Two of the four reports that were due were approved last council meeting. These are the last two. This is our last shot as well to get them approved before the December 1st deadline. So yeah, the financial information is there. The second one Had to be sent to the paper this morning by 10 a.m. to be published on Thursday, which is the first. And I need confirmation that it's been in the paper on the first to meet the deadline as well. So I'm not purposely going to the very last second. Won't happen next year, but yeah, this is unfortunately how long it's taken us to get our financials caught up and orderly for what we had to do the reporting. Like, we literally came down to the last minute. We've been working very diligently. Brandon has been amazing. Karen, our consultant, has been amazing. So yeah, we're finally getting all caught up with that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Any other council discussion? Public comment? Brandon, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.10, review and possible action. Approving the annual financial report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Rich. Any other council discussion? Public comment? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve carried unanimously. Council, there was no added pressure placed on you this evening in approving these, but it is certainly appreciated that we did.
Thank you.
6.11, review and approval. Approving liquor license for Tyler and Downing Eatery.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'm gonna go with Alan on the motion and
Goodness.
Jeff on the second.
Now you know who the drinkers are.
We'll take your word for that. Any other discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.12, review and approval. Surf Pro mold cleanup for Lawrence Community Center.
One of the racquetball courts had originally just a couple spots and now it's grown in size, so they know it's very live. So they got a quote, it's in the packet. It is expensive, but obviously the longer we wait, the more it's gonna grow, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's the cost to fix it. And Surf Pro come in and get rid of the mold.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jeff? Thanks. Motion by Kay, second by Jeff. Were they able to identify the cause of the mold? Like, as in, was there a leak somewhere that has now been rectified? or-
We're assuming it had to do with when the roof got damaged prior to the ratio and the leak tanks. We've replaced part of the roof since then, and I think it's just slowly over time, no one caught it and it's grown. Because right when I first started, they noticed a couple spots, and now it's probably, so like in 4 months, it's grown. I mean, you can't tell the size specifically because the ceiling's very high in there. Maybe it's, this might look like a foot or two to me, but it might be 4, up on the ceiling. I'm not sure. That's only 4 months. That's happened like, let's get it.
Well, for public safety,
Yep.
definitely necessary. Any other questions or comments from council?
Are they, I didn't read all the way through their report, but are they gonna do an air quality test when they're done?
I don't remember. I don't know if that was part of the quote or not.
I would probably recommend that.
Especially if it was a roof leak,
Yeah.
is there anything else
They're
that may surface?
typically about $1,000.
Okay, so we can have the motion amended to add the air quality.
Another question too is are they removing tile or anything to get up in there and see if there's anything behind that?
I do not know. I know Surf Pro does this kind of stuff on a regular basis, so I know they're not just gonna like cover it up, but I don't know. I wasn't there. when they, reviewed to give the inspection. But if it was anybody else for a company, if I'm not familiar with them, but Surf Pro, that's all they do all over the United States, flood, mold, fire, I mean, they're used to.
Well, the motion has been made by Kay and second by Jeff to go ahead with the agenda item as it was presented through the packet. If you want to amend it, we'll have to have the motions rescinded. Would it not also be a possibility that it could just be, if it's $1,000, that's well below the budgeted maximum,
Yes, exactly.
that you could just
Correct.
instruct that to be done?
Yes.
I'm not trying to speak from council, just letting you know what.
We would
the
simplify it.
options would be.
You would
Yeah,
simplify it.
that's fine. I'll just make sure they add the air quality on
Yeah.
there, and then whatever that is, well below my max, so.
Those councils good with it?
Yep.
Brandon, would you conduct the roll vote?
Gardner,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Yes,
Motion to approve carried unanimously. 6.13, review and approval of current bills.
move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Alan. I did question with Sean prior to the meeting. Page 2 of the 9 pages, the collection service center, 2/3 of the way down, for $257.55. It says collection child support order.
I'm assuming, I do not know because he just asked me when I got here, I'm assuming it was probably coded wrong in our system, anything with the child support order or any kind of garnishment always comes out of payroll. So my assumption, if he does not have a bill for it, it's coded incorrectly. Put in the system instead of. But he doesn't even have his information to have a check print out for it, so we'll make sure it gets moved over to.
And then on page 4, Lynch Dallas, the itemization, the prosecution of $365.50 and the nuisance enforcement of $870.05. My inquiry was, are those items to be reimbursed through filing of paperwork? Or are they just a flat out expenditure?
Right now, it's a flat out expenditure. Once I get, if it's an ongoing case, we may just have to wait till the end if we're gonna do anything where we could have collection, but not every case has a collection aspect, and I don't think it's too much. But if there is that, we will do that, yes.
Questions?
One question I had, on page 4, MediaCom disconnect fee of $3,882.
Yes, so they, we got, yeah, we went to Macocata Valley because the service is better. We just got the lineage installed. We attempted to let them know that we were gonna stop the contract. And they said, no, pay us everything in full, which you owe us. But Macocata Valley overall is cheaper. And
Better.
our quality is much better. Our cell phones weren't even working in City Hall previous to getting Macocata Valley.
So all city buildings have Macocata Valley now?
They will, correct.
Okay.
They won't have any more coming from here. So we had to terminate. And I didn't think it was prudent to be paying 2 places
No.
just to pay it. You know,
All the
just to
more,
pay it.
all the more reason to switch from me.
Exactly. So I didn't want to just perpetually pay for the next year 2 places when we weren't using the services. So unfortunately, that is the price to get out of it, but yeah, even the computers are working better from getting the new ones.
On Rod's first question about the collection services, when you find out what that is, will you let us know?
I sure can.
So we know where it should have gone and what it was for?
If it's for an employee, I can't tell you a specific employee. I can
Right,
say
right.
it was an employee and it was totally wrong.
Right,
whatever it is.
if it's for a bill that should have been paid or a service that was paid.
Yeah.
Something, but just so we know what it's for.
Yep. I'll do that tomorrow.
Also, any other questions? Brandon?
Smith.
Yes.
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 Motion to approve payment carried unanimously. 7.0 City Administrators Report.
Been extremely busy doing financials for the last several weeks. I will say, our city attorney Lynch Dallas contacted me, and said that it's been quite a while. He didn't indicate how long it's been since we've had a council refresher training. So I think it's the second week of December. He's going to have, a refresher training with council, so I'll send an invite for that. The next day or two. I'm seeing if this room's open, and if not, then we'll have it at City Hall. We can leave that for general information. I think it'll also bode with the packets I gave you for the council rules and everything from last week, but I don't think he knew I ordered those either, but but he's like, it's been a while since I've done that, and I should do that every couple of years, just to, as council people change every couple of years. He said it's been quite a while, so I don't know the last time he was here was. But I'll send an invite. Pretty much the only thing I have. I've been up to my eyeballs in financial.
Could you give a status report on the fire station project?
They're almost done, aren't they? They're waiting for something to get delivered. Sorry, they're waiting for something to get delivered. The concrete got poured, the doors were on,
Concrete's poured, doors are on,
the heaters were
the heaters are installed,
installed.
the gas line's being ran right now, the
Yep.
water lines will be ran next. I think Delancey has another week in there for work to do, so they're just on the inside getting some stuff wrapped up.
I
So,
tried to say what, 3 weeks? I would
Yeah.
think mid-December, it
They're
should be
they're
done.
a couple weeks out.
It looks like they did the grading on the hill.
Yep.
That looks good.
And just at the end of the calendar year, this is the project sunset date with Shire.
I think so. That is what council had talked with them about. So we should be there. So
Thinking mid-month.
we're close.
Yeah, but we're pretty close at this point.
Bring some closure to it.
Yeah, be done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. Any other questions or comments for Sean? 8.0 Mayor and Council Reports. 8.1 Mayor's Report. Just wanted to thank everyone that volunteered, attended the lighting over the weekend. It was rather busy in the downtown area, which is what the intent was and a good thing. I thought the community was showcased very well. Things were clean, neat, orderly. So thanks to city staff for taking the extra efforts to present the community to those that were traveling from outside. 8.2 Council Reports. It's listed under Mayor and Council Reports. It should be its own separate item, but we're gonna call it 8.3 Public Comment for items not on the agenda. One at a time, please again state your name and your residence.
Tom Durgan, property owner, downtown property owner. I've been asked this question many times. Saturday, I'm downtown working again. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna ask the council, so maybe people quit bothering me about this. It's kind of a multi-part question. Did the city give any money for the purchase of the statue? If the city did give any money for the purchase of the statue, does the city get it back? Was the $15,000 part of that? And what happened to the $15,000? These are questions I'm asked all the time downtown, and I don't have the answers to them. I don't know what to tell people. So it's like, you know what? I'll ask you guys. Any takers?
Before my time.
I wasn't.
You- yeah, you-
Or-
you- yeah.
But I do know when they took them, it was to clean them, so I don't even know if they're coming back. or not. But they
I know
were
I have
taking
all
them
the
before.
answers to that, but,
Yeah,
and
that's all-
I know
that's
because
all
I've been in
information we
contact
have.
with them many times, but
I can't speak for anybody else, but I can tell you that I never voted to spend any money on statue. My understanding is that there was outside groups that wanted in here very badly. And whether there was some money spent on it, it wasn't from us.
From the city.
I think it was from somebody outside, if that's the case.
Okay. Like I said, I'm asked this all the time, continually, them same 4 questions, and I don't have an answer to it.
The city did not contribute anything to the purchase
Okay.
or to the rental.
Nope.
The 15,000 that was received from the Des Moines Register from Ragbri, that was to go to the purchase of the statues, not the rent. So if it went to the rent, they did not fulfill the obligation properly.
The group that,
Right.
so in other words, we don't know about that part.
That was
But
out
the
of
city
our,
had nothing.
we had nothing to do with that.
Now, maybe I can answer something because I, like I said,
I would like to state that, Tom, as people reach out to you, you could inform them the best way to get those answers
does it
would
come
be
here?
go to City Hall or come
I
to
I
this.
tell them all the time.
I don't mean this negatively to
Say-
you,
say
but
I
you're
don't
not
like it,
the
but-
city spokesperson.
Oh, I know, I'm not. I tell them, I said, City Hall, but here again, people are still afraid. And honestly, it's like of repercussions. People are afraid to come in. It's like,
I appreciate you bringing it up because at least we can clear that out.
yeah, because it's like I said, I'm in, like Rod said, I'm not the representative for this. It's like, go to the city hall and
Mhm.
come to the council meetings and ask these questions, because I don't have the answer to them.
Or they can come to City Hall, like, you come in. I'm pleasant. So I always have
are.
an open door, so
Yeah.
I always have an open door.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
and since I've been here, I've worked very diligently on. I'm gonna call it mending fences, and everybody's kind of getting along. School and I, our city, chamber, county, all of us are working well together right now. So
That's good, because I know there's been friction for years.
Correct.
I
Yeah, there's
remember
been a
time
lot
when
of
the police
mending
department,
fences.
sheriff's department, they didn't work together.
Correct. I've worked very diligently since I've shown up here to mend fences and make sure everybody's working together correctly towards the correct goals. So yeah, and you've met with me on multiple occasions. So I think, just even telling people, coming with them if you wanted. Because, I talked about it.
Well, when you get done mending fences here, I got about a mile I need done. outside.
Good evening, Shane Brown, Street Superintendent. I'd like to give a shout out to Kim and Tom Durgan for letting us use their extended lift to trim the trees and help put the lights up. It was the trees are getting taller and we can't get up there. So thank you to them for everything that they did for a day and a half.
Good deal.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else with comments or questions before council? Being none, we'll call it 9.0 adjournment. This meeting is adjourned.